Greetings. I'm going to try bringing you this from outdoor Montana. Thank God. Winter's over and we're able to move around, and I'm on the screen porch. This particular vlog is going to be about and dedicated to my father. The main reason that needs to be done is because he has appeared so far in the Lawrence Welk item, and I'm sure he doesn't come across as the coolest dude there. Now, first of all, it's important to understand that the reason I'm doing this vlog at all is because of my dad. For many years, I've wondered who my dad was and what he was like inside. I grew up with him, and you would think I'd have some understanding of his character. But as you'll see, I don't have a great deal. Most important thing is that he was an extraordinarily private individual. And not only private, extraordinarily bashful. So I think with this vlog and probably another one, the way to explore my dad as a person is to perhaps describe what a day was like with him, and what his hobbies were, and what we did together as father and son. And that way maybe you'll have some idea about him. The important thing is that you'll know everything I know, because that's all I have to go on. I remember, I think I said this before, that Julie said the same thing to me. Dad, I don't know who you are. And that was so reminiscent of my father that I thought, that's why I'll start this vlog, and maybe somebody can piece together who I am as a creature. And anyway, let's get started. The first thing that comes to mind is my dad, as I indicated before, worked 6 days a week, as did most people when I was a youngster. And the result was that Sunday was his day. And my mother was inclined to want to go to church, and did whenever feasible, whereas my dad took the day as his only day off of work, and it was the only time that he could do anything that he would like to do in the way of relaxation or anything. We're going to find that we have a problem here, because my dad, when he came home from work, and he was relatively prompt. He was there by 5:30 or 6. Now, on occasion, he did stop at the shrine as a Shriner and indulge in a cocktail before he came home. I never saw him come home with one too many. I think that was his way of being social, and at the same time letting off some steam, I guess you might say. Uh, so we had dinner as a family. Always we sat down together, and well, I'll back up. In high school, when I was in high school, which would have been early 50s, when he came home, he always took a nap. And a half an hour, 45 minutes. You know, in retrospect, I think that's the first indication that his health was probably beginning to decline. But he had his nap, we had dinner, and basically he went downstairs in the basement. Now his basement is not like my dungeon. It was equipped for hobbies. And by that time, he was out of the workplace for the ironworks and had purchased a lathe. And so we had this 6-foot lathe, metal lathe, in our basement with the accompanying tools. We had a whole wall set up for developing and enlarging and whatnot pictures, as he was a great photographer fan. Yeah, I think probably in his later days at least, those were his main indoor hobbies. He loved to hunt, but that was really restricted to deer and elk. He would hunt bird game. Henry, that's game birds. And when he could, but without a dog and without, I guess a companion, he didn't go. And when I was growing up, why he was, involved in the war effort. The war was on, gasoline was limited, so we didn't get to do those things. But he enjoyed that. I know he enjoyed being outdoors. On the weekends, during the day on Sunday, it was almost invariably, if we were in town and not at Story, we would pack the car and go out to the rifle range, and we practiced shooting targets only, and we were very, I think, ecologically minded. We were very, careful, and that's the way I grew up. So I have a love for guns. I don't find that a hobby that I would like to go out on, spend my weekend doing. But nevertheless, that was something he enjoyed. Well, he enjoyed working on guns, and he could fix any gun, I think, that was ever made. He could take it apart. He could, do whatever was necessary, put it together. He took very good care of his guns, and he was a member of the NRA, and of course that's where we got so many of the rifles from. I'm 10 minutes into this thing, and that's long enough. So what I'm going to do is stop, and then I'll pick this up again on the next session.